Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mark Ham. Man, I got a little story to tell you.
All right.
Way back when I was on a job interview, and the person interviewing me said, "Hey, show me an example of leadership skills." I said, "Okay." And then I replied, "I'm hired." Roll that tape. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. It's Friday, where Giovanni and I have conversations on leadership and business. And today we've got a phenomenal guest inside of this question: how this one view about leadership can change your life. And before I introduce our guest, I want to get us all present with this question to Robin Stern. Robin, good morning. It's so great to see you a few days in a row on the Daily Huddle, man. So tell me, what time is it and who are you going to hug today?
I'll tell you what, sir, it is exactly now. The time is now, and I'm just going to go ahead and reach right around this screen. I'll hug all y'all today, all right? Every single one of you got a hug today. How about that?
Oh, man, virtual, it still feels good. Love you, Robin.
Love
It's
you,
great
sir.
to see you're here. Good morning, Tara. You were speaking to us the other day and you said, "Oh my God, I'm going to move earth and water to be here." And here you are. Tell me, where are you and what are you grateful for?
Thank you so much, Sorrel. I am nowhere else but right here with you all. Super excited to learn from your guest today. And I am grateful. I just feel today so grateful for the Daily Huddle family.
I join you in basking in that gratitude and the gift that the Daily Huddle family is. Welcome home, Tara, and good morning.
Thank you. I love when you say that.
Mark, man, I haven't seen you in 8 Sundays. It's so good to see you. So good to have you. I want to acknowledge the gift that you have been to the Daily Huddle, steadily feeding us great speakers and friends. So, Mark, tell me, how are you?
Man, I am how I say I am, and today I am blessed, no doubt.
No doubt, no doubt. And we are blessed to have you. We are blessed to have, by way of your generosity, our guest today, Mr. Rene Ali. I want to tell you a little bit about Fareed, and then we'll launch into a conversation to be inside the question, how this one view about leadership can change your life. Fareed is a native citizen of Trinidad, and he is an extraordinaire in the business arena and has 18 years of work experience. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in business with a concentration in global management from Atlantic International University. Fareed received an International Honorary Award from Delta Mu Delta in recognition of high scholastic attainment in the field of business. Now, I want you to know, all the credentials aside, that Fareed is from the same country that my wife is from, makes him way up there. So Fareed, I love it that you're from there, and I know there is a breed of being a leader that comes from being born and raised in a Caribbean country that makes it really special. So thank you for being here. Thank you for every year in February opening up your home for Carnival.
Yeah.
Now, I'm inviting myself now.
Oh yeah, come on down.
So Fareed, good morning. The question we have in front of us is how this one view about leadership can change your life. But before we dive into that, I said you were from Trinidad. I said a little bit about you. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love for you to create for the Daily Huddle family. Who is Fareed? Why leadership as a career?
Well, good morning, everyone. I got into business and I got into management because I saw that there's a lot of potential and it has a lot of growth and opportunities. And one of the reasons I actually chose to speak about leadership, and leadership more so here in the Daily Huddle, is because of two reasons. One is that leadership plays a vital role, an essential role in all aspects of our lives. Our personal life, professional life, our business life. And it makes us to become better people. The second reason is that there are people who are in leadership role job positions, and they are not doing too well. They are suffering. And if I may say, some of them are actually failing in their leadership roles, whether it be in the office or on the home front. So that I would like to have a little conversation today about leadership, and more so, what are some of the characteristics of being a good leader, a great person? Because leadership is what will take us throughout life. And when I say leadership, effective leadership.
So in that case, you as you were speaking, Fareed, said great leadership, but you also said great person. In
Yes.
creating the characteristics of being an effective leader, are you equating being an effective leader with being a good person? And I guess to begin to dive into the question, this one idea about leadership that will change our lives, must you be a good person to be an effective leader?
Yes, you have to be a good person. Now, to be a leader, first of all, you have to practice self-leadership. Leadership looks at inspiring people, motivating people, empowering people, encouraging people. But we have to practice self-leadership. I must be able to be a good leader, a good person, which is one of the characteristics of a good leader, a great leader. But I must be able to motivate myself. I must be able to inspire myself and encourage myself. If I cannot encourage myself and motivate myself, how can I encourage you? How can I encourage people outside? So
I got that.
first order of business, self-leadership.
Self-leadership. So being from Trinidad, and looking to exercise leadership at home and in the world, where have you been confronted and had to exercise self-leadership? Give us kind of like a period in the life of Fareed demonstrating self-leadership.
Okay, so around 2015, I got a job here in Trinidad as a consultant in a manufacturing company. And the first day that I started, the board of directors, who are also the owners of the company, they said that their employees, their office staff, their production workers does not listen to them. Whenever they tell them to do something or correct a defect on the production floor, they do not listen to them. So I said, okay. So the first thing I did was that I started to develop a really nice working relationship between myself and all the people in the company, the office staff, the production staff. You know, for example, I would go around and I would say, hello, how are you doing? On a Monday, I'll say, so how was your weekend? What you did on your weekend? No part of the conversation was about the company and business. For example, around Christmas time, Christmas Eve, I'll go and shake everybody's hand. Merry Christmas. I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Same thing for New Year's Eve, or the first working day after New Year's. I'll go and shake everybody's hand and say, Happy New Year. How did you spend your New Year? So what I was doing, I was actually creating a really nice relationship between myself and all of the workers. And then sometimes what I would do is I would go down to the production floor and I would look at them and I would offer to help them they never asked me. I would offer to help them with their work. And then we would also continue to have a really nice conversation. And then I would begin to ask them about their work, how their work is doing, if they have any problems. So what I would do is, within the general conversation, I would weave that into the conversation about their work, what help they need. And they appreciated that. They were thankful of that. And also the office staff. For example, one day, one of the ladies in the quality control department, she has monthly reports that she had to do for her production manager, and she did not know how to do it. So she came to me, and I could have said, well, you know what? This is not my job. This is not on my job description. I'm not getting paid for this. You have a supervisor, you have a manager, go to them. I never did that. I stopped what I was doing. I sat down with the lady and I showed her how to do the monthly report. Step by step, really nice report on a nice simple Excel sheet or spreadsheet, all the nice data, column graphs and bar graphs and line graphs. And wow, she was happy for that. She was thankful for that. And then all the months leading up to that, she knew what to do. But if she encountered a problem, she will come to me.
Yeah. So as you're creating this, Fareed, I'm hearing emerging in your speaking, like maybe the one thing you're pointing to. If you want to touch upon that now, what is the thread that holds everything you just spoke about together? What's that one thing that you were actually doing or being?
What I was doing was that I was treating the workers like people. I was treating the workers like a human being. We are all human beings. Treat us like a human being. And that is what I was doing. I was making them feel valued, making them feel worthy. I was helping them to bring out the best in them, show them their worth, their value, show them what they were capable of. What I was doing, I was helping them to see things that they couldn't see. Because one of the things leaders do is that they help people to, number one, get out of their comfort zone. Because we're so comfortable in our comfort zone, but nothing happens there. So what we do is that we have to help people to get out of their comfort zone and get into their uncomfortable zone. That's where things happen. And that's where they're going to develop. That's where they're gonna grow.
Yeah, and if I'm hearing you correctly, what gives a leader, one of the things that gives a leader an access to being able to guide people or lead people out of their comfort zone is you have treated them as human beings, you have treated them as people, and they have the kind of relationship with you that engenders the kind of trust that when you're taking them out of their comfort zone, they can trust that you're not going to let them sink.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. See, what leaders do is that they work alongside people. They don't work above people. They work alongside people. Come, let me help you. I am seeing talents in you that you are not seeing. So let me help you bring out those talents. Let me help you grow in life and grow along your journey.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, and you say leaders don't work above people, they work alongside people. So leadership isn't really tied to a specific quote unquote leadership position. You could be the manager, you could be the supervisor, you could even be the employee on the floor and be leading.
Yes, anyone can be a leader, but you must develop those skills. Leadership is about developing skills. And it takes time. It won't happen.
So speak to us of those skills.
Okay, so let's look
Prerequisite for leadership, for effective leadership.
Okay, so let's look at some of those characteristics of a leader. One of the things is that we have to lead by example. Actions speak louder than words. We must be punctual, we must be committed, we must be disciplined. The other characteristic of a leader is communication. We must communicate effectively, we must communicate clearly. Now, an essential component of of communication is emotional intelligence. You see, when we communicate, 10% is verbal, but 90% is non-verbal. So that we must not only listen to the spoken word, we must listen to the unspoken word. What is not being said? And that's where active listening comes in. That's where emotional intelligence comes in. Now, one of the things about listening is this. Do we listen to respond or do we listen to understand? You see, when we listen to understand, then we will be able to respond correctly. But when we listen to respond, we may misinterpret or we may misunderstand what is being said. And then we will respond incorrectly.
Yeah.
Another characteristic is that leaders create an environment where people are heard, where they are valued, and where they are understood. Another one is that leaders empower people. They empower their team. They give people autonomy. Let them be creative and imaginative. Leaders give people some decision-making power. Let them do their thing. The other thing is that leaders have vision. They have a purpose. Now,
Fareed,
go ahead.
pause for a moment, because you're laying a whole bunch on everybody here, right? And on the surface, I think personally, I'm saying, well, I get that, I understand that. But on two of those points specifically, leaders must communicate, and leaders have to give people the room to be innovative, to do what they want. Could you give us an example, a couple of examples from your world where that particular characteristic of being effective at leading saved a day, so to speak?
Okay, so the first one is that I was on a project with some of the employees in the company. And usually the corporate management will lay out their tasks for them and tell them what to do. But in this case, I was the project leader. So they reported to me on this project. I said, you know what? I outlined the project, all the different tasks in the project, and I said, each one of my team members, pick a task that you are comfortable doing, and pick a task that you can work on, and one that you can deliver in a timely manner. If you have any problems, let us know, because we're a team and we will fix it. So actually what I did there, I gave them the autonomy. You pick whichever task you want, and you work on that. And you come up with your task, you come up with the assignment in your way. Because it's not about my way or the highway. It's not, I would like you to do this and do it my way. No. There are many different ways of doing something.
And touch a bit on the communication piece. You know, when you said leaders must communicate in the way, Tara went like that, she clapped and she jumped. You know, that's so give us a sense of how you made that real on the court. Because it's easy to say leaders must communicate effectively. What does that look like in real life?
Okay, so let me give you an example from the home front, because we are also leaders at home to our spouse, our children. And for example, let's say one of your child comes home and he or she, they had a bad day, they have a problem, and they may speak to you, but you may listen to what they said, and somewhere along the line you misinterpret what they said, or you misunderstood what they said, and you may respond, or you would respond, but you may not respond in an appropriate way or in the correct way. And then the child would accept that as negative. Compared to if you listen and you understand, that's the important part of listening, understanding what is being said and understanding what is not being said. And that's the only way you can respond.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done. So you've laid out what it looks like to be an effective leader, the characteristics of an effective leader, and you've spoken about it from the perspective of being in a corporation. Before we open it up for questions, Fareed, take a moment and speak now to our solopreneurs, our small business owners, when it comes to leadership. Given that I may not have employees reporting to me or a large team that I'm managing, how do the same characteristics apply and are even essential to being effective as a small business owner?
As a small business owner, you must develop these characteristics of a good leader, of a great leader. You must be able to speak to people, to respect people. You must be someone who you can trust and someone who is there for people. You are willing to help people. As a small business owner, you may have one person working with you, but you must be able to show some leadership, to demonstrate some leadership to this one person. Treat them like a person. Be there for them. Give them some autonomy. When you see them, be kind to them. Not always will you speak about business. Sometimes, you can call that your one employee and have a coffee chat with them. Good morning, how are you? How was the day yesterday? What did you do over the weekend? You see?
Yeah.
And you can also have a small business conversation. How is the job doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything you need help with? And then, of course, as your small business grows, you have 2 people or 3 people, it will continue. But you must remember, as the business owner, each person is different. So your leadership style may be different from one person to the other person. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, generally, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's one other perspective I have, and it will go back to what you were asking me about if anyone can be a leader. And that is, we do not need a title to be a leader. When I say a title, we do not need to have CEO or president or general manager or operations manager next to our name. When we're walking down the street and we see someone and we stop and we chat with them, have some kind words with them, what title do we have? Well, if we go to the grocery store and, we see someone in the grocery store when we go up to the cashier to pay for our items, you may see the cashier looking a bit down. And you can have a little conversation, inspire them a little bit, motivate, brighten their day a little bit.
Yeah.
What title do you have? What are we going to tell the cashier? Oh, well, I'm the CEO of Shell, or I'm the general manager of Airbus. No.
So perhaps the title of effective leaders is simply human being. So let's open it up for some questions and comments and see what our dear friends have to say to you or want to ask you. Who's got a question or comment for Fareed? Gio, go ahead. Then
Okay, well, awesome. This is a great conversation, Fareed. Thank you for being a speaker today and sharing your world, your insights, your best practices. One of the things that you were mentioning at the beginning that I certainly struggled for a long time is this possibility of being a good person. I haven't yet seen myself as a good person. I certainly have good practices. I don't know if I'm a good person, and I don't know if I can achieve that, given that it's a moving target, depending on how much awareness I have, what it was good in the past for me. Now it's not so great. I have to tell you who I was as a father 10 years ago. It's someone I, at this point in my life, really would judge. And I was really doing my best back then, but it was a pretty shitty father, I would say, for myself. The one thing I did capture, and I'm looking to reinvent the rest of my life with what you're saying, is maybe this one thing about leadership that makes a profound difference is to care for others. Can I live every day with this possibility of caring for the person who's in front of me. I really got when you said, you know, I go to the grocery and I'm not going to introduce myself to that person as, hi, I'm the CEO of this company. Nice to meet you. No, I'm going to say hi. And how am I going to say hi? As you owe me service, or am I here to serve you? And in whatever capacity in that small transaction. So I'm taking on discovering newly, caring for people. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, it's not
Oh
quite
my
a question,
God.
it's kind of a comment reflection from the conversation.
Yeah, Gio, I love what you're saying, and I want to echo something that Tara put in the chat, is that what I'm getting from this interaction is that in addition to treating others like a human being, perhaps continuing to learn and grow time after time after time is another characteristics of effective leadership. And Gio, thank you for demonstrating that in looking, hiring, and always seeking that way. Thank you, Fareed, for opening up the space for that to happen. Tara, what about you?
You know, I was going to bring up the same topic that Giovanni did, and I just have two quick comments. I know we're running short on time, and a question. And so, Gio, read my chat, dum-dum. You are such a fine human, so we'll talk about that another day. But I want to say also, before I ask my question to Fareed, that as I listen and watch you, Sorrel, interview Fareed, you are a leadership expert. You've been interviewing people who are experts in leadership for years, and you are so intent on learning from every person you talk to, and it is so inspiring. I teach a lot of communications workshops, and getting people to be halfway as open as you and Giovanni are is half the battle. So I just want to thank you for that inspiration. And then I wanted to go back to the comment of, can you be an effective leader and not be a good person? And certainly everyone defines good in their own way. But I think most of us are somewhere in the camp of having integrity, honesty, can be dependable and loyal. And it makes me think back to a leader by the name of Jack Welch. And you probably know that name. He was the CEO of General Electric for years and years and was very effective, and apparently was quite a mean man. And what I suspect about this, and here's my question, is I don't think he could be successful today with that same spirit, because of the generations that are so much, their EQ is so much higher. They are so much more in touch with their emotions, protective of them. The millennials, the Generation Z, I'm with you. I think that you need to be a good, caring person to be an effective leader today. And I'm wondering if you're seeing that in your work, that the younger generations need for us more to be authentic, kind, caring first.
Yeah, so to answer your question, yes, I am seeing that. First of all, you can be an effective leader, you can be a great leader, but some people are not good people. And another example is Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was a leader, but whoa, we all have the history on it. And yes, what I'm saying is that people need to develop these skills. They must have a good character. There must be people who are honest, and you can trust them and care them before they can get into a leadership role and before they can start to develop. You know, as we discussed earlier on in the conversation, we need to develop ourselves first, right? We need to become a good person, a caring person, an honest person, someone who people like. When you can trust someone, when someone is honest, people will like you. When you help people and you help people to become better, people will like you. For example, one of the poor qualities of a leader is that some people are arrogant. Do not be arrogant. Do not be opinionated. Do not be self-centered. That's a no. So yes. So to answer your question, yes.
Thank you for modeling that and reminding us of that. It's your spirit is generous, and I honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Fareed. CC, you'll be the last one.
Thank you so much, Fareed, for reminding us that our character flaws must be dealt with, and that leadership is not a position to abuse people, but to show kindness and love in a way, and compassion in a way to where the person is not self-centered nor selfish. And I believe that you are an incredible, effective leader, and thank you so much for the wisdom that you shared with us on today. And I pass.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Cece.
CC. Thank you, CC. Fareed, you know, as you were speaking and interacting with Tara, this came to me that perhaps leadership isn't something we do. It's a way we are. So I can be a leader doing some things, and the way I do them get to be colored by my relationship with the people I'm working with.
Yes.
So being effective as a leader may have nothing to do with producing results, quote unquote, in the organization. Maybe it has more to do with the kind of influence I have on myself and on the people working with me.
Yes.
So these are not the last words we'll say. The last words belong to you today, Fareed. What do you want to say on the subject that if you don't say it now,
Well,
it would be complete for you?
yeah. There are a couple of things I would like to end our conversation with. The first one is treat people like people. Treat people like people. And the second one is always, and I will emphasize on the word always. Always leave people better than you met them. Always leave people better than you met them.
And gosh, this opens up another conversation, but we'll close it here. How do you know that you're leaving people better than you met them? Do you get to define that, or do they define that?
Well, they define that, and that when you leave them better, you know that you left them better, feeling better about themselves.
Yeah.
And you leave them better saying, I am someone who is valuable in this world. And I can do this and I can do that.
Thank you, Fareed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being our expert guest today. We hate to do it, but we'll do it. We're closing about 4 minutes after the appointed time. And it's always that way on the Daily Huddle. The conversation gets juicy and boom, we have to end. And we'll end on this note, as we always do.
So as you end, please remind us of our event.
Yes, Gio, of course. Thank you for that reminder. This conversation is an ongoing conversation, and we're continuing that conversation on August 12th. The Daily Huddle live event is back for the second time. This year it's happening in Alpharetta, and you may click or copy and paste the link that Gio put in there. It's thedailyhuddleevent.com to register and join us for a day with Tara, Chase, Zach, and Kimberly, Catherine, Dr. Monica, Giovanni, and myself, and the rest of the Daily Huddle family. I look forward to seeing you there. And when you come, you'll be immersed in our 8 tenets. We will certainly love you. Gio will make you laugh for sure. Laugh. And stress less. Eat mostly plant-based. There will be Beto's tacos over there during that day, and it's going to be a phenomenal day. You will not sleep at this event, but I request that you sleep, get some rest, get your beauty sleep, give, be generous. That makes life a lot more fun. move your body, and last but not least, check your assumptions. So, I relate to my assumptions as the truth, and maybe you do too. Check them before you wreck yourself. That's our show for today.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's going on? Check
Blessings.
yourself before you wreck yourself. Boom.
Thank you.
Wonderful, Fareed.
Darrell and Gio, that looks great, man. Y'all missing one thing at the Daily Huddle